Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3, MUFC versus DK for the Beyond the Summit World Tour. There, I got it right this time. I am LD of dotacommentaries.com. Joining me, of course, is godz. Both games, it felt like the team that won them was pretty much in control from start to finish. Game number 1, we saw Burning on Panda, and frankly, whenever Burning plays Panda, it doesn't seem to work out for DK, at least not against MUFC. Then he was in his more comfortable standard role on that hard carry anti-mage in game 2. And, well, MUFC had a great start. They had a godlike Nick on the Templar Assassin, but in the end, Burning farmed too much. He had a 13-minute Battle Fury. Got a bit out of hand, so godz, here we are. Will we see an anti-mage ban? And if you're not going to ban that anti-mage versus DK, what do you do to deal with it?
I don't think we see an anti-mage first 3 bans. I think he wasn't picked up in the first 3 last game. I think it's something that MUFC are okay going up against, but they want it to be... they may ban it in the 4th or 5th bans here, and I think the other problems are going to be the Windrunner, these utility heroes, maybe even the Rubik. Rubik was picked the last 2 games, so Windrunner Rubik provided anti-mates the space as well as the sort of disables and just some basically control in those team fights. And for me, those are the bigger problems here. If anything, I'd be more leaning towards banning out the Windrunner than the anti-mage if I'm MUFC here.
Yeah, Super had himself a hell of a game, and it wasn't an easy matchup either. Templar is very hard to lane against because of that refraction, especially when you're in a side lane where there's more likely to be room to maneuver and chase. Templar not going to be good at tower diving, but in that off lane, she could definitely look to chase you down and harass you a bit more. Also, the lack of rune control, which you can get if you're in that middle lane. So, will the Windrunner get banned? Well, it's not. If you ban Windrunner, I mean, it's a good hero, but it opens up the pool even more. And you know, heroes like Prophet might be available. He's been banned both of the previous games in those first 3 bans. Of course, Lycan Chen to start. One thing we saw in game number 1, which worked out great for MUFC, was lane on that Enchantress. And for the moment, it's not banned. MUFC also have the first pick on the Radiance, so if they want to run the Enchantress, it might be an option for them. DK starts with the Chen ban. We'll have to see where they go from there. But if they choose to ban out the Enchantress, that means Prophet slips through, and that's never something that you should feel too comfortable giving away. So MUFC will get something with this first pick, as pretty much every team does nowadays, let's be honest.
Game number 1, MUFC used Enchantress really well. Game number 2, it wasn't banned, but they decided to go for the Tidehunter instead, and that was, to me, something that surprised me. I think they had success with the Enchantress. They may want to go it again. I don't think necessarily DK will ban it. We may be seeing it getting picked up here, but it's something that Ling loves to be on, and Sharky loves to pick Ling, those jungle heroes. Chen being banned out a couple games in a row here, but this could be a chance to have that Enchantress. Maybe not as a first pick, but at least 2nd or 3rd pick coming in. We'll see what MUFC want to get up with their first few picks here. Maybe even go for the Windrunner themselves, unless they get something as great as a Prophet. Invoker as well in the pool, so likely going to be Prophet, Invoker, or maybe even...
you know who's still available, actually, is Darkseer. He got banned in the first 2 games, and there you go. There's always something that slips through, man. It's impossible to predict because Darkseer, I mean, this is a hero that is... I mean, if anyone is banned more than Lycanthrope, it is probably Darkseer right now. Such a powerful hero. MUFC get themselves a great offlaner, great team fight. Darkseer strong really in every single phase of the game, sets everything up for the team, and well, MUFC have not been going for big team fight, and I feel like that's where Darkseer will shine in the mid game. But still, he's useful for more than that wombo combo. But the reply from DK, whatever they get for Burning, he's going to have some great backup to create space around the map. It's a Prophet and Invoker. You have that double global potential, 2 very strong heroes in the lane, and in that early to mid game. So a good opening for DK. I mean, if you're going to give up Darkseer, this is something nice to get in return.
Yeah, for me, Darkseer is one hero you don't just simply give up. I've said before, I think Darkseer is the strongest hero. In the current metagame, I don't think he's the individually most overpowered hero, but I just think he's the most relevant hero and the best hero to pick. If nothing's banned in the pool, I would first pick Darkseer every time. I actually think Darkseer deserves to be banned more than Lycan. I think Lycan is okay to leave slipping through the pool and not a hero you have to first pick, but not at all surprised by this first pick for MUFC. I'd expect something like a Windrunner maybe as this 2nd or 3rd pick here. The problem is going to be that Darkseer is already likely to be that side lane solo. So if they get the Windrunner, it's kind of forced to go to that middle lane, and they prefer to go for the Templar Assassin or the OD, something that can really give them some carry potential as their solo mids often. So having the Windrunner and Darkseer on the same team, not the easiest thing to do, unless they put one maybe in the safe lane, but they go for something different that they haven't used in the last 2 games, but something that MUFC do use quite a bit. Venomancer, likely support Enigma. probably going to be in that jungle.
Big team fight for MUFC, as well as some good push power with the Eidolons plus the Plague Wards. We'll likely see that Venomancer on support. Not sure if the Enigma probably going to be in the jungle. I suppose they could solo him in mid, or I mean that's normally the only other thing you would see. That's something I know Cinder has done in the past. Not sure if anyone over in Southeast Asia has run it. It's certainly an option though, but it leaves Windrunner in the pool, and if DK get their hands on Prophet, Invoker, and Windrunner, I mean that is so much early to mid game presence that MUFC will get some towers. That's pretty much a given with this lineup. But those supporting kind of semi carries, you know, they can really free things up for burning. I guess if they do that, they're going to have a lot of heroes that need farm. You could run Windrunner as that secondary support though, and it's not a horrible role for her. So, I mean, Windrunner super played it really well. So to me, that's the hero DK probably have their eyes on.
Yeah, I think Windrunner as well, unless they want to put that Prophet as a side lane. But they can put Prophet in the jungle here, I feel, and still have some strong lanes. So with Prophet in the jungle, having Windrunner on super on the bottom lane, I feel will just fit them. I mean, it just fits what they want to do for the most part. And then they can pick up some kind of strong dual lane with burning on some farming hero at the top lane. Even just go for something that isn't a hard carry. When you've got the Prophet as well as Invoker to give you some DPS, you could just go for something like a Slardar. You could go for sort of a more tanky frontlines brawler. Even a Night Stalker. Night Stalker's still in the pool, and that's a viable pick for both these two teams and something we may see. But oh wow, they're not messing around. They're going to go with the one thing that seems to work time and time again, and seems to be I have to say DK have not been in the best of form, but the matches they do win, it's when they pick Anti-Mage for burning.
Well, there is a big difference here though, because there's a Darkseer in the game, and I mean we saw Disruption is aggravating for Anti-Mage, but the Surge as well as the Vacuum ultimate, I mean, you get yourself an Anti-Mage in most of the team fights. You also can free your allies up to run away, to chase him down. I mean, that Blink is not a get-out-of-jail-free card against this lineup by any stretch of the imagination. One thing I would love to see out of MUFC is a Clinks. We haven't seen it yet this series. They run it a decent number of times in the past, and I just feel like an early Orchid is so powerful against DK's lineup. You look at their heroes. Prophet likely to be split pushing a lot, farming on his own. I mean, really, all three of these heroes are going to spend a lot of time farming on their own, and that's where a hero like Clinks can shine, especially with the mobility of Darkseer, the ganking power of Venomancer, and the Enigma giving you that opportunity to knock down early towers. Smart ban here by MUFC. They're tired of Super's Windrunner. I do not blame them in the slightest. It gets banned out. Who are you expecting to see from DK as their final two heroes? It seems like they've got their farmers, so now they need some supports.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they need a bottom lane hero unless it's going to be the Prophet here. Well, Prophet can go either jungle or into that bottom lane. Both do work. But if they have the Prophet in the jungle with the bottom lane solo, it's going to be some kind of hero who doesn't need a lot of farm, like maybe a Puck. Even Bounty Hunter's an option, but I don't feel they have a very gank-heavy lineup to justify picking up Bounty Hunter. He's not going to be able to find too many kills because of the nature of their lineup. So I think something like a Puck, maybe just having... I feel the Prophet at the bottom lane is going to be the best option for them, and picking up some strong supports for the Anti-Mage at top. We'll have to see what MUFC want to do. They're a team who like to go maybe tri-lane versus the Anti-Mage, especially if they're expecting Anti-Mage to be at top. So we could even see them trying to do tri-lane versus tri-lane of their own at top. At least picking up maybe a hero that can counter the Anti-Mage late game if they don't go that route. They're known for their OD play. The Templar Assassin didn't work out last game, and I'd say Templar Assassin OD, two heroes they're likely considering, whereas DK, they just want some strong supports.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to do that, Enigma can actually fit in quite well to that tri-lane up top. He wouldn't be in the lane, but he can start off in the jungle, poke his head in there, here and there, push the lane, go for ganks, and if nothing else, you're applying a ton of pressure to that lane, which means the Anti-Mage might not get the support he needs if he's over dual laning mid. Or if they leave the support there, then the tower is likely to fall early on. So, yeah, I think if MUFC want to run that offensive tri-lane, they certainly could do so. They could even maybe think about an Enchantress if they want to do a laning Enigma. And then they have some really strong pushing power, which is what you want against Anti-Mage. It's why we see the Lone Druid banned out. Because DK know if this goes late game, they're going to have a very good shot. I mean, it's not just the Anti-Mage. Prophet is such a good ally to have in the late game. Keeping the lanes pushed, always a threat to TP around the map, set up ganks, especially if he ever gets a Scythe of Vice. So it's very difficult to go late game against DK's lineup, and if MUFC want to avoid it, well, that early push is probably the best way to secure an advantage, get some map control, and then look to slowly but surely strangle DK out.
Yeah, and with this, I mean, heroes they like. I mean, apart from the hard carries, another thing that they may want to consider, they picked up the tiny quite a bit for TFG. It's a hero he likes to play indefinite possibility, something that can control that mid game. They don't go for the sort of Aghanim's carry time. They'll go for sort of the Arcane Blink 4-staff route where they go heavy gank.
Right, the utility
just
timing.
getting kills. Yeah, utility time. And they're just getting kills on heroes like Invoker, Prophet, as well as just killing the support heroes at the start of every fight. Can really be a big asset there. And I mean, the Lich being banned here, I feel this does limit DK's options. They haven't got any heroes that are particularly strong laning heroes. And as a result, MUFC, why not? 2 games, it worked. I mean, they didn't win them game number 2, but I feel like it did work out for them. Ultimately, they just didn't, they got a bit outmaneuvered and I'd say the win runner. It was all about the win runner, and that's a hero that's not coming into play. There's no strong disables from a Rubik as well, and there's no real disables at all yet on the Dire side to deal with the Templar Assassin. So this is going to force DK to pick some supports that can deal with Templar Assassin, and there aren't too many in there.
Yeah,
and they're going to be really squishy. They're going to be squishy ones. I don't know. I have my doubts.
I mean, DK, they have that great late game potential, but I'm a little bit more worried about their lineup this time. I mean, last time it took 4 supports and a great Windrunner, like you mentioned on Super, to give Burning that space to farm, give him that time to farm. It's a very strong support in the Crystal Maiden, but a very squishy one at that. And, well, can Frostbite, Templar Assassin hold him in place? But MUFC have outrageous chasing power. Malefice, Gale, Surge, Vacuum, and on top of it, Templar Assassin's traps. You cannot run from this team. Maybe Anti-Mage can get away. The rest of them will not be able to escape. MUFC, just such a strong potential here to snowball out of control in the mid-game. Now I'm starting to wonder how are DK going to lane this. It looks like maybe they'll do that dual lane mid. You could see the Anti-Mage Crystal Maiden there. I'm not sure DK have a hero that can deal with Templar Assassin one-on-one if she goes mid. You know, Invoker is decent. He can probably get some farm, but he's not going to shut down TA. She has better pushing potential with those side blades. She's also going to have better rune control with the traps, allowing her to scout them and slow down the Invoker. Plus, Invoker generally doesn't leave the lane. Tiny is the pick, so you called it, Godz. And, well, they don't have a hard carry, but they have a lot of late game. I mean, the team fight of the first 3 heroes, those sort of support slash, ganker styles, and then the heroes that can look to carry, the Tiny Templar Assassin. For MUFC, if they do choose to go late, they're going to be much better equipped than they were last game.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, here it's like CM. It's going to give DK the laning ability they need, but it's not going to be absolutely dominating. I think MUFC will just go with the Darkseer top, as much as they may want to shut down the Anti-Mage farm. Enigma's probably going to be in the jungle, and they can't really send a Veno Tiny up top, even if an Enigma doesn't really want to go to the enemy jungle against a possible tri-lane. So DK, Sanking is the last one, and that's going to give them basically the AoE stun and a bit of versatility in these team fights to get multiple stuns, multiple disables off on a couple of heroes. So I like this last pick. It works a lot better than the Tide Hunter we saw last game, I feel, with this draft. I think the Tide last game was a decent pick, but this game, Sanking is going to help them out a bit. And we'll see. I imagine Prophet at the bottom lane, but Sanking can go as that suicide solo if they want Prophet in the jungle. It's something that that we should consider as well as DK. I mean, you can have Sanking as a solo Prophet in the jungle, getting the easy farm. Sanking will just be up against what looks to be a Veno Tiny lane. The problem is going to come, Enigma can always gank from that jungle, I feel.
Yeah, gank is the name of the game here for MUFC, but they have that late game potential, but they get there by pushing and by ganking. I mean, I talked about the chasing potential. They have a lot of lockdown and team fight too. Vacuum, Black Hole, you can combo those up in either order and have a great team fight. Tiny with a lot of burst damage, a lot of AoE as well. We have ourselves a quick pause, but I just feel like MUFC's team is so strong at every phase of the game, whereas for DK, they can't really do too much early on. Anti-Mage, Sand King, these are heroes that need levels and farm before they can really contribute. Burrow Strike is so small in terms of the range, the damage not great at level 1. He needs that early mana as well. I want to get the epicenter up. I mean, the same for Prophet and Invoker. Prophet really needs 6 at the very least. Invoker, you got to get at least 3 or 4 levels before you can do anything. We saw last game, a level 2 Invoker is food if the enemy have the right lineup and they look to gank you. So yeah, for DK, they have to find a way to hang on in these lanes and not lose too many towers, not fall too far behind in MUFC. And I think MUFC would be, you said Darkseer top, he wouldn't even do badly against the Anti-Mage Crystal Maid. I mean, if nothing else, you're going to make life difficult for Burning if they end up there, because you can spam Ion Shell on the creeps. So Darkseer will be a nuisance whether or not he gets a lot of farm, and MUFC get the trade in that case. They can farm in their own jungle. They can probably win mid and bottom. And if that's how it shakes out, then they're winning 2 lanes and getting some jungle farm in exchange for an anti-mage getting a lot of farm, which is a good trade. So I think MUFC, however they choose to lane it, there's just so many options, and I feel like they all would work out pretty well.
Oh no, I definitely agree, and we'll see how I don't know. I mean, there's options for it. I feel that the best is going to be having that Tiny just farming at bottom, and the way they like to play. They've had the Templar Assassin solo for so many times, and there we go. Templar Assassin played by Nick, going for an eco bottle build with just the 3 branches, going to be soloing mid, which leaves the Veno and Tiny at bottom. Enigma heading top for now, but is going to be in that jungle. Enigma is being played by Sharky, a hero that he does like to play. And it is Ling. Ling, who's been playing the support and jungle heroes the last couple of games on the Darkseer. He does often transition into those side lane solos when they don't have either the Chen or the Enchantress. So not too surprised there. And it's actually, is this going to stay? DK and Antimage are heading down bottom. And are we going to see a Prophet solo top? This could be DK doing something a bit unexpected.
Yeah, I think they recognize that they're not going to win the conventional lane, so they're going to go for something a bit unusual here. If this is a tri-lane, it is a pretty strong one. I mean, Burrow Strike is hard to land, but you have Nova to set it up. Burning his right Mana Bird cannot be underestimated early on. It actually does a lot of damage, even at level 1. And if they're up against Tiny, Tiny won't be farming. Still, you will get the trade-offs for MUFC. Darkseer up top will do fine against Prophet 1v1. Oh, they're looking for Net, potentially. No, he's going to be okay. In the middle lane, it would be Templar against Invoker. I have to say Invoker definitely should lose this lane to Templar. He won't necessarily die, but Templar just doesn't care about Exhort because of that refraction ability, and you can also control the runes better. So I like Templar in this lane. Invoker can still contribute to the tri-lane, maybe to that top lane with Sunstrike, but in the 1v1, as good of a player Super is, I feel Nick should win this matchup.
Yeah, no, I have to agree that it is slightly favored towards him, especially when he gets up that fast ball. He's going to be the one getting runes and using those for control, unless DK can maybe, with the Sanking, as well as pretty much most of the Sanking, as well as the Crystal Main, getting the rune control they need there.
Speaking of that Sanking, wow, great job by RTK. Uses the haste rune to block the small camp here, delaying that Enigma farm. That's the camp that you like to start as Enigma. Instead, he's going to have to fight an Ursa Warrior. You can kill this, but it requires perfect micro. You also want to let your hero tank that creep for a little while until the Eidolons replicate out. The haste rune on RTK not accomplishing too much. It's actually a Venomancer solo bottom. Oh, they're thinking about Frostbite to start. Gale gonna put an end to any thoughts of getting a kill there, and the haste rune wears off. In the end, no kills. And actually, it looks like, what is going on here? Lane is transition bottom. Up to top goes Tiny. TFG is gonna be farming 1-on-1 against a Prophet. Oh, Darkseer is gonna make this tri-lane very unpleasant for Burning. In fact, will it be? No, it looks like Venomancer is gonna be doing some fully musical lanes is what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
But all the while, Enigma is getting that farm.
And that top lane is not a lane that Tiny will do that well in, unless Prophet is sort of roaming around getting kills for his team. But if Prophet just goes for sort of what we saw, I mean, Zhao Wei do yesterday against Tongfu, he just sat in lane winning his lane, out CSing a Windrunner. And with Prophet having treants as well as high damage, oh man, Burning is... he needs to be careful, he's taking a lot of damage.
That's a level 1 Ion Shell. I mean, this is not a leveled up Darkseer, but yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you as far as the Prophet goes. It's definitely better in lane than Tiny, but look at what TFG is doing. He's pulling the lane. He's going to get some farm here, and I mean, the main thing for TFG is he's not going to be dying. He's going to get those levels, and Tiny can flash farm in the mid game. He's got a lot of nukes that can allow him to spam down creep waves quickly. He also last hits pretty well, so I don't mind Tiny in this lane too much. I guess the one thing I'll say is if you're going to run an offensive tri-lane, well, you've got the heroes to back you up. You've got Prophet and you've got a Sunstrike Invoker. So DK could definitely set up some early kills if MUFC get caught out, and that might be what we're about to see now. Nova, first Frostbite available to follow RTKs and Biz. Burrow Strike coming through, and a Sunstrike. There's your first blood, and the Surge away. They only get one, but it's the power of this global lineup for DK. The 2 global heroes. Long DD didn't even have to TP in. If he needed to, he probably could have. But since he gets to stay up top, that means he can harass the ever-living crap out of TFG.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a potential for a 5-hero involvement at bottom with the Prophet and the Invoker, and that just is something really scary for MUFC at bottom lane. And then, I have to say, I mean, that makes bottom lane scary, and then the top lane, they're not looking all too good. Mid lane should be an okay matchup. Exile Invoker should have some okay last hits, but Bottle Refraction TA should have a slight advantage there, but for the most part, MUFC will be not doing as well as they normally like to do in the laning stage, but they are putting pressure on Burning's farm. The Iron Shell is just so annoying to go up against, and Venom, he's still staying bottom. He's just going to use these creep pools, try stack the neutrals here as it has been dewatered, so that's going to be how they try to deal with this bottom lane, and we'll see whether or not it pays off for them. I think it'll help give them some control LD, so I mean, they don't have to worry about those ganks as much if they can keep this wave pulled back near their tower, but they do have to worry about CM and Sankin coming in looking for Venom like they are now.
Well, godz, you talk about the harassment onto Burning. He's already got a rate of health. He's 10 and 12. Actually, sorry, 13 and 14. I'm not sure. He's maybe missed like 1 or 2 creeps from each wave of it. Not going to try to do the math in my head, but he's barely missing anything on either side of the board. That is really great to have in this tri-lane situation. Because although they're doing some pulls, Darkseer only level 3, Venomancer level 2, you'd at least expect them to be 4+ at this point. Sharky looking to set up a gank top. Actually, is he going to? He's got the level 2 Eidolons. They could go for a kill here on Long DD, but Long DD is level 5, and remember, Sunstrike could always come in. TFG going in. Look at the damage he's taking with that 1 armor. TFG is going to die here just to the right clicks, and Sharky now as well. Is Long DD really going to pull this one off? He is TP in. He wants to kill. Doesn't need it. The tree and secure it. Oh my goodness. You gank a Prophet 2v1 and you die, both of you. Sunstrike wasn't even used, but middle lane. Big dive from Nick. 1 super. Afraid of that cold snap. He saw the 3 Quasors, but in fact it was a Forge Spirit that was invoked. Nick maybe could have gotten that kill, but he's going to back off in the end. But Long DD's Prophet, oh man. That is not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay there coming up from MUFC, but just recognizing reading the situation well was Long DD, knowing he didn't have to just run for it. If he ran and left his creep wave, he would have died to the combo from Tiny and Enigma, but just staying with that big creep wave he had, giving him that extra damage, and he came out on top, and that's one of those moments where it looks bad for MUFC, but that was just some smart play by Long DD. Okay. Basically, it's punishing a mistake.
Right, definitely. Okay, guys, I have to... I feel like Anti-Mage needs to be renamed to Burning. You know how Shadow Fiend is Yaphitz in Dota 1? I mean, look at his farm right now. He's 24 and 25. He's not just getting the last hits, he's getting the denies too. I mean, you know, sure, if there's no heroes there, you should be expected to get these last hits, but go try and play a pub game right now, or, you know, play a game where there's no bots and see how you do. I guarantee few of you will do that well. Sharky, initiation on him, Sunstrike, the burst damage is too much. DK finding everything but Gale onto the fight going the other way. Prophet ult bouncing through, early level 6 for him. Zippo is going to drop ROTK, Burrow strikes down the low ground. Great presence of mind and patience there, but here comes Nick. Looks like he should be okay. Super might take a fall though. Yeah, Super in a lot of trouble. Now ROTK comes out of the sandstorm. Oh, Nick, no refraction charges left. He will be forced back. Almost had himself a double kill, but just not quite able to secure it. DK are just applying pressure everywhere, and that's where Burning shines. Free farm for him on the bottom lane. But again, it's not Burning who's just getting the farm against 5 heroes. His team is setting him up for this fight.
Yeah, his team playing well, applying a lot of pressure, and Prophet at top has now got the level 4 treants. He's chipping away at this tower and just giving Tiny a tough time. Tiny, no arcane boots. He can't really spam much of this. He doesn't want to have to just use his combo to get rid of these treants. He's going to. It doesn't even do enough damage, and... Oh, no. ROTK is coming in. TFG will go down. He hasn't got his stun or toss. He just used it on a creep wave. And as a result, on cooldown, kill followed by a tower. This is exactly what DK wanted.
Yeah, it's an early level 6 for the Prophet. Actually, he's already level 8. Excuse me, I'm behind the times. 1 minute ago or so, he was level 6. And it's the tower being knocked down. As these towers fall, 2 TPs forced, which means all sorts of free farm for Burning on the bottom lane. Actually, no, they have the entire team's up top pretty much. They won ROTK. Nick has joined the fight. I think they're going to get ROTK. No, he goes and misses. They have detection this time around. Great job by Nick using those side blades to pick the kill. Man, he is sick at this hero. But will it be enough to really pull them back into the game? You know, it's a nice kill, but it's not enough at this point. They definitely need more than just a kill on a Stancade to do it. The tower being knocked down. I mean, MUFC are the team you expect to get these early towers. Sure, there's a Prophet on the field, but he's not the best pusher this early. I mean, normally, you know, that 3-4 minute mark, that's where Enigma can start to make a push happen, and with Venomancer there. I feel like MUFC should be the ones getting more towers early, but it's DK applying all kinds of pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, DK's strat has been pick Anti-Mage for Burning and control the game around him. But whereas MUFC, they're going for Nick, and it's going to have to be Nick who steps it up here in the mid game. He's got a lot of farm. He's got Phase Boots, Bottle. He's got 800 gold. We're going to be looking at a Blink Dagger in the next 2 to 3 minutes if he keeps on farming, but he may even need to start ganking sooner, using runes, using the Phase Boots, giving his teammates some space, like the Tiny, to get his arcane boots and blink up, as well as Darkseer help him get a better time. But like Darkseer at bottom in all kinds of trouble. Anti-Mage ulti is up, Sunstrike as well. I don't even think Anti-Mage doesn't even pop the ultimate. He leaves it for the Invoker, quite happy to give his team something, and he's going to maybe use the ultimate for this kill here. Prophet TPing in, Burning taking a lot of damage, will blink away, and this is going to be the end of Veno. Prophet, couple more right clicks with the Treants. Another kill going DK's way. 2 easy kills at bottom lane. Didn't even have to pop the AM ulti.
Level 9 Prophet. Hand of Midas about to be purchased. 8.5 minutes in. Really early Midas timing. Even if you're just getting the Midas pretty much naked. Uh-oh. He runs into TFG. This would be a big kill if they can get him. Avalanche to start. Toss to follow. There's the combo. One more right click does it. And that was a crucial kill, but he bought the Midas just in time. Oh, that's unfortunate for MUFC. That would have been a big pickup there, delaying it by at least 2 minutes. Still, he won't be able to use it right away, so it's something. But look at what's happening top now. ROTK is going to find a lane of his own to farm. Prophet can easily go into the jungle. And that's the beauty of having the Prophet. He doesn't need to sit in the lane all game. Once he gets to this point of the game, he can just go into the jungle. And now it leaves room for Sandcane, a hero that needs farm to get it. Epicenter is up on him. They could easily defend bottom, or at least try to, if they want. Black Hole up as well. We might see a big team fight brewing here. Or maybe just a trade of sorts.
It's just sick play from DK. I mean, you got 4 heroes essentially getting a lot of farm. Invoker at mid, Sandking at top, Anti-Mage at bottom. Prophet can come now defend. Now he's got his early game farm. They're just really distributing it well. And Sanking's a hero who benefits a lot from the farm. It's not like they've got a support hero there. Sanking's a hero that often teams will give solo lanes to because of how much he can benefit from it. And MUFC, they're struggling to get this tier 1 bottom tower. The defense is coming in. Prophet ultimate. There's a Sunstrike that went looking at it. It looks like it was looking for the Darkseer, although Darkseer does have enough HP to survive it. And MUFC going to have to back off here. And they're still losing out on farm. Prophet's going to go use that Midas to continue his farm. He hasn't actually used it yet, but he's just going to... There we go. He's TPing into his own jungle, recognizing that this push may be over, although there's still 4 MUFC heroes here, and now with Prophet gone, they may look to continue this push.
Oh, but this is such a big thing to be trading against DK's lineup. You mentioned it, the farm in every space of the map, of hero farming up top, hero farming mid, Prophet in the jungle, and even bottom. Burning is farming. It's not like he's getting nothing. Look at the levels right now for MUFC. It's a level 3 Venomancer against DK's lineup. He's going to be food all game. Even Crystal Maiden in the off lane is level 5, and this Venomancer is just going to be... Net is going to don't be surprised at all if Net ends up 0-10 or worse as this game progresses. He's just so far behind at this point. And it's not going to get better with this 4-hero group up.
Yeah, it's not really... I mean, it's not really a game where there's going to be many openings for him. He may find some lanes of his own to sort of solo defend using those Plague Ward spam. So he can still have an impact. And I mean, we've seen Mount go 0-21 on Venomancer and still have somewhat of an impact just by spamming those Plague Wards for vision.
Right.
And basically being not so much, well, he's an Observer Ward himself, but also just walking around planting temporary 30-second long Observer Wards. Oh, sorry, the 40-second long Observer Wards, the Plague Wards. They are very useful for the team, even if you are having a tough time dying a lot. I mean, it's not like he's giving up massive amounts of XP and gold every time he dies, but burning on Anti-Mage, there we go. Battle Fury is going to be up in the next few minutes, maybe. Has he got it? Actually, no, he's got treads, but no, never mind. I thought he bought his Claymore. He still needs both Claymore and the Broadsword. So he's not getting out of control. 50 CS at 12 minutes. I mean, it's decent, but by no means is it complete and utter free farm.
Yeah, I mean, the last hits aren't that great, but it's a lot of denies as well. So it's not just his farm. You did shut down the enemy team. But really, it's the fact that there's this Prophet who's so highly leveled. It's really, even if Burning's behind compared to last game, he's going to have way more time to get up and running. Prophet can stall the game better than pretty much any hero. Between the ultimate, the split pushing potential, the ganking potential, and I mean, there are a lot of heroes in MUFC that can be ganked out. The Enigma is still very squishy, 700 health on him. Venomancer, 580. That's likely to be the primary feeder if anyone in MUFC is going to get picked off. They want to go Burning Gale to start, Trap to follow, Blink away. Nice direction from them with the Blink in, and I think we're going to see Burning go down. We are. Nick with the burst damage there. We saw it last game. He got a kill or two like that on the Anti-Mage. Yeah. It wasn't enough, but maybe if they keep it up, they can work their way back in. Prophet TP's in, and well, that's just the aggravation of being up against the Prophet who's got this good of a start. Even when you get a kill, he's just going to start pushing another lane.
Yeah, I mean, Anti-Mage is a nice little pick-off for them. And TFG picks up his Arcane Boots. I mean, MUFC have their options now. They've got the Blink on Templar Assassin. Enigma's going straight for a BKB. He's picked up an Ogre Club, but he still can contribute to a straight-up push. He can't be the initiator, but he still can have a nice little impact there. Darkseid just continuing to farm, is trying to build towards either a mech or a pipe, something to give his team some utility here, but it's going to come down to Nick leading the charge with that Blink Dagger, setting up some kills or at least ganks for MUFC here.
Yeah, MUFC really need to start to apply pressure. It's just hard to do it when you're up against DK's lineup because of their mobility. Trap dropped onto Zippo, Blake in by Nick. Oh, 1-2 auto attack should do the trick. RTK waiting in the wings, maybe looking for an opening for an epicenter here, but not going to find it, just burrow striking in. He's going to go for the epi. I think he'll get net. He will get net. Is that it, though? Epi just for a support Veno. Not the biggest loss. They only get a Crystal Maid in return, though, so pretty even trade in the end. But look at what's happening right now. Burning farming bottom in exchange for Ling, or farming top rather, in exchange for Ling farming bottom. Oh, action mid, though. Black Hole not hitting anything and canceled immediately by Sharky. Sand King will go down. No epicenter available anymore, so he used it earlier. And well, I think that's it. No Sharky. The chase onto him. Actually, Zippo going to get this kill. And not over just yet. LongDD trying to TP out. One more auto tech. Nick gets another kill. Oh, and TFG joins the fight as well. The semi carries for MUFC very active. Another Sunstrike. It's going to hit again. Oh, Super has been on the point this game with those Sunstrikes. And, well, after that action, it's back and forth, 3 for 3. A Prophet went down, but...
He was killed by a neutral as well.
Oh, I assumed I just missed him in that fight, but yeah, you're right. Maybe he...
Yeah, no, he was fighting with Templar Assassin. He got a kill, Templar Assassin chasing him. He got a kill with his ultimate, and he was... I thought, actually, the Templar Assassin got the kill, but it was a neutral. Templar Assassin, though, is going to clean up the Invoker at mid. This Templar Assassin did a lot of damage that fight, but didn't get rewarded for it, as first... the Invoker got away, and then secondly, the Prophet got denied by neutrals, although he does now find himself getting a kill on the Invoker. That's going to help him out. He's 5-0, and he's playing fantastic on this Templar Assassin.
He is 5-0. It's the supporting cast that needs to step their game up. Nick is doing the best he can to... Oh, Blake actually disjoining that burrow strike. Well, not destroying, but dodging it. The deny from RTK. Now Nick on the back foot. No detection. Actually, they have a sentry, but they're going to back off anyway. Smoke Gang coming in. TFG and Net looking for an opportunity here to get a kill. There's no epicenter. They could look to go on this. They have a sentry as well. Toss into Avalanche. Instantly RTK drops. And now in comes Burning. Working towards that battlefield. Still a bit of a ways off, however. About 1,200 gold to go. And LongDD is opting for an Aghanim. So for DK, they want to stall this game as long as possible. Also, that ult gives you a bunch of burst damage, so if you want to gank, if you want to kind of delay the pushes, you can do it. Either way, it's a pretty decent item pickup when you're working towards it this quickly.
No, I like the choice there. It does give more time and space for Antimates to farm in some ways. It does push out the lanes a lot, which means he's limited in where he can farm, but with the Battlefield, he can always just go into one of those neutrals or Ancients to actually farm.
Right, and we'll likely see the team starting to stack those up, especially once he gets the Battle Fury. Anti-Mage can't really do them right off the bat. I mean, he can maybe do a double stack, but any more than that, he's going to drop very low. But once you have a couple more levels, maybe one more item, you definitely can. Zippo has an Invisor and scouting everything out mid. MUFC grouped up. And, Ion Shell doing a lot of damage. Actually walks by a Sentry Ward. Zippo is going to get galed, but, he's going to get away. It looks like, look at the damage onto TFG. Toss Avalanche. Once RTK gets RTK. Sunstrike didn't end up hitting, but LongDD and the back lines. Ling trapped in, completely screwed. He will go down as well. Buyback from Tiny. He wants back into this fight. Wasn't happy with how it turned out. Templar Assassin trap, trying to slow Super down. Blake in. The damage from Nick looks to be enough. Super dropping low. Malefice is finally gone, but Super Deafening Blast has that great control to try and escape. The toss in from Nick. What a combo. And it looks like one more auto attack. They get the kill. TFG and Nick making things happen here. Still, while this is happening on the bottom lane, Burning as well as Prophet are busy pushing. There's your Battle Fury online. And the Aghanim's about to come on too. And well, if DK want to split push, these are the items and the heroes you would probably want in an ideal world to do it. That Aghanim's on the Prophet, the Battle Fury and the Anti-Mage. It is going to be so hard to keep these two heroes down long enough to actually get some towers and maybe secure some map control for MUFC.
Yeah, and so far LongDD is playing a hell of a game on that Prophet. I mean, Burning, as always, rock solid with his Anti-Mage, but it's always going to come down to the supporting cast. And so far, the Prophet, the Prophet, Sand King, and the Invoker have done their fair share of work. The 4-star on Invoker is a nice little pickup just to help deal with the Templar Assassin. I mean, we've seen it the last few games. When you're up against these melee sort of carries and aggressive heroes, forcing away. Force Stamp is one of the best times to have for saving yourself as well as teammates. MUFC now, they're going to start pressuring out this T1 tower. Prophet Ultimate flying in. Is that no ag scepter yet? He hasn't quite got enough gold for a couple hundred away.
No,
but
he
MUFC...
went for a completed mech actually. LDD just picked that up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, mech is always a great pickup, so can't really argue with that one. Yeah, but if you wanted Aghanims, you would have had it. Still, it's going to allow them to push, help them defend as well. And it could turn the tides of this fight, you know, when that big team fight breaks out. MUFC have a lot of burst, though, so it's possible Prophet will be forced to use that mech at an opportune time, especially with Templar and Tiny on the field. There's some damage over time, but it's a lot of burst, too. Well, DK looking
now with this,
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to see if they can maybe poke at these towers. As soon as they see a couple heroes there, they'll be happy that maybe they can just back off. Antimage can keep farming up some loot. Prophet can farm up the Ancients here. And, Antimage is still at bottom. So they just want to make sure Antimage is safe by poking at top lane. They're not really committing to this tier 2 push, and they don't really have intentions of even doing any damage to it. But they're just more scouting things out, letting MUC know that basically they are top and that they can't just... they can't really leave it, otherwise it will get pushed on in. And they are going to find Burning at bottom. It's Templar Assassin, immediate blink away, and Templar Assassin not going to blink after. Alone, he can't really get that kill.
Okay, God. So if you're MUFC, what do you do right now? Do you look to farm more? Do you go for a smoke gank? You can't really let that anti-mage Prophet farm all game, and it's not just those two heroes. Sand King pretty potent. Once he gets the blink dagger, he's not far off from it. Same for the Invoker. I feel like MUFC, they're not out of time yet, but they can't just sit back all day. So how do you look to sort of turn the tides of this game, find that opening, and get your team rolling in the right direction?
They're about to pick up a few of their core items. I mean, BKB is about 700 away from Enigma. Templar Assassin almost has Desolator. And the Tiny, a couple hundred gold away from Blinker. So that's one thing. I mean, the question is, how long can they wait to get these core items? Like, I don't think they can wait for Darkseid to finish off the pipe. He's a long way away from it, and he's not going to have time. Bottom lane, they've gone in on Burning. He's used the Blink. It's level 4. He can blink out already, though. Luckily, he's maxed out Blink, and it is going to be TA in all kinds of trouble. The Deafening Blast, cancel it. He goes down, and that is not what MUFC want to be doing. Although if that kill had been successful, it would have been a nice pick-off, but they get punished for their over-aggression.
Oh man, the Prophet just always able to add that +1. The vacuum in might have actually hurt Ling there. Tornado is going to be dropped, and it looks like Ling is dead. He is dead. He drops the wall, a defiant wall at that, but it won't be enough in the end. Well, Net is getting that farm now because there's nothing else he can do at the moment. Though I guess the good thing about that fight for MUC is because they dove DK's tower, they're probably not going to lose a tower of their own. But one thing DK could think about now is go for Roshan. They have chance to tank it. They have a decent amount of right click as well. But actually what DK is going to do is push the lanes out and get their map control up in general. Zippo very intelligently taking this time to de-ward that bottom rune. He knows it's safe. He saw heroes top. A couple died bottom. DK just taking those small incremental advantages, doing everything they can to protect Burning and set themselves up for a very strong mid game.
Yeah, I mean, Burning at this point is looking to be able to carry this game. I mean, he's got a lot of farm. He's got 2k gold now, and once he gets that mad style up, he's going to be really hard to kill and gank. Top lane, Tiny is there. He actually gets scouted up by Trinks, immediate blink away. He was looking for an opening to go in, but not going to find it. And it looks like both teams forced to back off and play a bit of a passive game, and that's not going to work to MUFC's favor.
This is a lineup that has some team fight and some late game potential in MUFC, but not this much. They can't deal with a Prophet as well as an anti-mage who are this far ahead. It's not just the gold, it's the items as well. It's the Sand Kate even, who's now got a Blink Dagger up. So, great initiation there. If you look at MUFC, they have some initiation of their own, the Tiny with the Blink in particular. You don't buy Blink Dagger on Tiny to run away. That is for damn sure. And I mean, so far, that's really all TFG's gotten to do with it. Force Staff in, Cold Snap to follow, and Super is going to run away now. Surgeon, he's scared, man. He's afraid of that Prophet showing up. He's afraid maybe of even the Sand King joining the fight. And this means more time for anti-mage to farm. You group up as 4, and you're not really pushing. You're just sitting here as 4. In fact, I think they are scouted out by the Observer Ward here. Wow, what a great, clever spot for an Observer Ward. Right up here on the hill.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that one before, actually. But it gives you quite a bit of vision.
I've seen it a couple of times. It's nice. I think it's slightly better to have it in lane, but it never really gets de-warded, although for the first time ever, it does get de-warded there by the Venomancer with the gem. So, proving me wrong, but nonetheless, it was a smart little thing. But MUFC still, they're grouped up as top. But like you say, they're grouped up and not really accomplishing much. Sand King with his Blink Dagger now, I mean, this team fight for DK is going to be pretty powerful with the Invoker, Sand King AoE. The Prophet has a mech as well as his Aghanim Scepter up, and he's about to hit that level 16, level 3 ultimate. We'll see that come into play. And MUFC, they get themselves a tower. They're looking for a kill on Super at top. Enigma stun, level 3, stuns him 3 times, but now comes the return fire. Forces the BKB from Sharky, and this is going to be the end of Invoker with a couple more right clicks.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Vacuum back in. Super looking to go the other way. Blink in from Burning. Has the Yasha up the ult. Will it be enough? TFG, one more right click and he will be dead. Oh, the stun coming in. Burning Malefice to follow. He actually might get turned around. That was the Craggy that proc there. Yeah. Avalanche as well. Burning overextends, and he ends up going down. But I mean, they have
level
Prophet.
1 Craggy.
Yeah, level 1 Craggy.
Level 1 Craggy saving lives. Why not?
We actually see some players will skip Craggy, but this is why you get it, especially against an anti-mage. Even 1 point, so useful to have. And if it's your lucky day, then it'll pay off. Still, even when they get that kill at anti-mage, it's Prophet pushing down the tier 2 bottom. And it's also MUFC not getting another tower. You want to get more than one when you have a fight like that. RTK blink in to initiate by TFG, but there's not enough damage to bring RTK down. Still, TFG continuing to chase. RTK Blink Dagger is up. Can use it to blink away. Maybe wanting to juke here. Burrow Strike in. Blink the other direction. Will it be enough? Looks like he might get caught up from behind. Templar Assassin coming in. Nick looking for this kill. Do they have the range? Actually, one auto attack is just going to rip him apart. I think I did about 3 times his HP there. And he will go down. Now Long DD. Going to head back into his own jungle. MUFC are getting kills, but again, they have to turn these into something more. It's not enough to get 1 kill here or there. They need towers. They need a Roshan. They need something big to really get this game under their own control.
Yeah, I mean, next time they get a kill or 2, they need to transition that into try getting something like Roshan. With all the might, they can do it quickly, but Burning. He's going to find Venomancer and not actually get the kill. They'd love to get this Venomancer gem off him. He's getting up map control for MUFC, and that's a key thing right now. DK cannot really ward up this map all too easily. I mean, we're going to see Venomancer de-ward another ward, and he's almost getting hit by that Sunstrike. Does get away just in time. That would have maybe, yeah, that's an almost maxed out Sunstrike. That would have probably killed him if it had landed. So luckily for him, it does miss, although they wouldn't have lost the gem. But we'll see MUFC using this map control to just sort of, I mean, scare DK not into farming as much as they normally would and just playing a bit blind.
Well, it looks like Lane is still working on a pipe, and already it's quite late for a pipe. Lane has really been shut down. I mean, Darkseer is such a great farming hero. 73 CS in 26 minutes. You'll see better from this, even if Darkseer's up against a duel or a tri-lane, in the suicide lane, and he was in the safe lane too. It just goes back to that global presence that DK had early on. They did a really good job of getting early kills, shutting the Darkseer down. And it's a pipe that they need. It's just for the Prophet ultimate alone, with that Aghanim Scepter and the level 3 ult, they need it. And then you throw Sand Cane on top of that, as well as the other nukes from the Crystal Maid and the Invoker. It's a lot of nuke damage, so the pipe is essential. It's something they absolutely must farm before they go for their next big team fight. But while they farm, while they wait for that, it's Long DD getting up the Maelstrom, it's Burning, of course, getting his farm on, and he's very close to a Manta. DK is stalling and stalling and stalling, and sooner or later they are going to be too big to fail. Getting to that point.
That's the route they're taking here. Now we'll see whether or not MUFC have enough firepower late game. I feel this game, I mean, with the Black Hole, with the tiny initiation, I mean, Templar Assassin isn't all on her own. She's got some nice backup there, and Darkseer, one of the premier mid to late game heroes. That wall is just such a powerful tool. If he can get up a pipe, and maybe even a mech for his team. They haven't currently got a mech. This will be a very, very useful late game Darkseer, as much as he did struggle early on in that bottom lane. Oh,
they're going to wrap around here. Will they be spotted as they go high ground? It's important that they get up that hill without being spotted, and they will. And in fact, they might spot out Super. Oh, just narrowly going to miss him. Now they're going to circle around and blink in. Avalanche toss instantly. Sand King dies. Does he have buyback? No, he doesn't. And now MUFC should be able to get something out of this. The creeps are across the river. They see Zippo. They want Zippo. Force Staff already up on this Crystal Maid, and balling out of control is Zippo. And he's also level 12, and TFG blinks the wrong way. Zippo's still running. This is way too much time to be investing in a Crystal Maiden kill. Sand King only 20 seconds away from respawning. Burning pushing bottom. Split push coming from top on long DD. And now they go Roshan, but I feel like they might not get it in time. Although with Templar Assassin, maybe they have the damage. Nothing really on TFG to help bring this down quicker. Sunstrike scouting it out. He's going to hit lane. Still, remember, the pipe is not up. If there's a big fight here and Darkseer dies before getting his ult off, that would be a problem. Is it going to happen, though? Super coming in. He's got Cold Snap. No big AoE yet. Wow, look at everybody just melting to the meteor. The wall used defensively. BKB is used by Sharky. Actually just using it to run away. In comes the epicenter. Only for TFG, but they get him. And now it's looking like a good fight for DK. Lane on the retreat out. Zippo available to nuke in 1 second. He's going to drop the Nova. 4-step in. Zippo is really playing great on this Crystal Maiden. The Courier dies. Oh, in the back line, it's Nick that snipes that out. Just finding whatever openings he can. But yeah, to me, the story of this game is not the Prophet. It's not the Anti-Mage. It's not the Invoker. It is Zippo on this Crystal Maiden. Balling out of control.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Zippo's had a very, very strong game. I mean, he's been involved in 13 of these kills, and that's not often what you see from your supports, because they just sort of sitting behind the carry, and if there's no action around them, it won't always be the case. They'll tend to be sitting on just a few assists with quite a few deaths, but so far, Zippo playing a fantastic game. Going to see this Anti-Mage Invoker Prophet pressuring the mid-tier 2 tower. They'll get that with ease. Prophet's transitioned into a DPS build now. He's got a Maelstrom. He's got 2.7k gold. We'll see, maybe, I mean, he's got enough gold for Mionia, but he may just go, okay, I need some more to say, well, let's get a Sheep Stick here, or maybe some other form of DPS, just keeping the straight-up Maelstrom as a DPS source. But we'll see where he wants to go. He's got a lot of farm, and it's not just the Anti-Mage who's looking to carry this game, especially with Invoker going to have a Sheep Stick up now. He's got enough gold. Great item progression for DK.
Yeah, and of course it is Prophet, so he could always be looking to save for buyback. You know, even if you die out once, you can always buy back, immediately rejoin the fight. It's the power of the Prophet. We say it time and again every time the hero shows up in a game, but until it stops working, we're going to keep on saying it. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's DK's game to lose. They have a big gold advantage, a big experience advantage. The one thing I will say, it's very hard to go high ground against MUFC's lineup. They have so much team fight, a decent amount of burst damage as well, and it's really hard to mess up that combo, the vacuum, the wall, the black hole, when the enemy team is trying to go up the hill. So, although DK are ahead, even if they end up winning this game, it may be a long while before they really attempt to do so. But we'll have to see how MUFC play. It looks like they're going to push mid. So this is a bold choice, I have to say. The wall is back up. But if they lose this fight, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Bottom lane is pushing in, and Prophet will be able to go and look for a tier 3 there. MUFC committing to the tower. They're going to be right-clicking it down. The trap just slowing down Super for the moment, trying to prevent him from coming in. DD up on Nick, and 2 auto attacks should clear the majority of the creep wave. Zippo serving as that initiator for his team. Net trying to scout things out. In the back lines, it's ROTK looking for an open. He's got a smoke if he wants to use it. But while they group up as 5 mid, guess what Prophet's doing? He's pushing in top, just being a complete nuisance this game. And, well, yeah. MUFC, they want the tower, but they're afraid to group up too much, because that's where DK can look to strike with that epicenter. And Prophet's getting close. I mean, gods, they can't just sit here forever. They got to do something.
Boy. And even bottom lane was actually pushing in at that point, but they're just really committing to this mid lane. And I don't know if it's a good idea, because a lot of these heroes also have buyback. Anti-Mage as well, Sanking. There we go, Sheep's down on Enigma. Not going to commit to it, deciding that would have been an overextension. And there we go, Prophet's broken in at top. He's chipping away, going to force some TPs back, and now MUFC need to get out, but they're not going to get out in time. Sanking's gone in. He's hit a stun on a couple. Great Darkseer wall. Gonna hit a couple of those heroes as well. Invoker goes down, so does Sanking. Anti-Mage goes down, he buys back, and Zippo, the carry Crystal Maiden, gets taken out. Nick getting himself a double kill, but it looked like they got a good fight. They got a team wipe there. They got a full team wipe, because they killed the Prophet at top by the looks of things. I guess Tiny caught out Prophet at the top lane.
Did Bernie just buy back? I heard someone bought back.
Yes, Bernie bought back. He died and then bought back immediately.
That was a team wipe. I actually moved my camera top. I was sure DK would back off there, but they chose to go in, and it kind of makes sense. There were 2 heroes, but I mean, that's the wombo combo that MUFC bring to bear. Illusion Room picked up on Bernie. The thing of it is, as great as that fight is for MUFC, they're still not getting towers out of it. They're not getting a Roshan because it's down. You know, it's a great fight. You're not going to say it's bad for them, but it still feels... I'm going to say it until it's not true. It still feels like it's not quite enough. They have to... I feel like they have to win 2 or 3 fights in a row before they can really knock too much down, because of the Prophet. I mean, that top lane, they kill him off, and after about a full minute and a half of pushing, the lane has finally moved past the river, but it took a very long time to do so. And of course,
Well,
Bernie
if they
is going to
wanna
be
go-
farming during this time.
If they want to go for it, now is the time. That fight, they just won that in convincing fashion, nonetheless, without a pipe, without a mech. 2 items they've just bought. There's a mech up on Enigma. He's got the Blink BKB, and Darkseer's just now bought a pipe. And Antimate, still no BKB. He's about 1,300 off from it. Prophet buys a BKB. That's where he decides to go for his next item, so he can now maybe have a bit more of an involvement on his team fight. But if they go push mid, they only missing a Venom ulti right now, which isn't really something you need to push, and it looks like that's what they're going for. And Zippo, CM, gets picked off, trying to maybe put a ward on that high ground, I want to say. He gets picked off, and these lanes are not pushing out. Antimage and Prophet immediately, they rush to push out top lane, because they do not want to fight this. Pipe, Mech, Darkseer Ultimate, Enigma, BKB, Black Hole, this is going to be a bad fight for DK, so they're quickly counter-pushing. And I think this is going to be a potential Rax for MUFC at mid, unless DK can pull off something big.
It looks like it will be a Rax. Tiny with that level 3 ult. He doesn't have Aghanims yet, but you have the minus armor from Desolator as well. It's going to be a bit of a base race here, at least a Rax trade attempt. Radiant Glyph is used. That tower is going to go down first. Actually, DK, I think they're winning this race here. It looks like, yeah, the tier 3 mid is just not taking damage fast enough. Burning's getting Rax. Great trade here for DK. The TP's forced back. Now DK can run. And MUFC might get nothing, despite looking like they're in a great position. But the blink in, they want super. Cold Snap going to be, actually, no, BKB used by Nick. He's going to get 1 kill. Will he get more is the question. He wants Burning, trying to man up versus him. I'm not sure he can win this fight 1v1. Sprout up, and actually not going to hit on Nick. He went for the ground Sprout, the Black Hole, holding them in place. Burrow Strike into the Black Hole, and Nick is actually going to die once. He's got the Aegis. Will he be able to win this fight when he comes back? There's a lot of heroes surrounding him. Might be too much DK for him to handle. No, Nick gonna blink away. Chase continues on to Sharky this time. They're gonna get Sharky from the looks of it. Sharky dropping low, dropping low. He's quite tanky for an Enigma, but he will go down. Back comes Nick. Look at the damage on him, but the ultimate onto lane. Dropping low as well. Bernie is out of mana, and I think Bernie is gonna die. One more blink in. The Burrow Strike keeping him alive. No magic wand. No way for him to stay alive. Unstoppable is Nick. This might be the best Templar assassin in the world right now. Nick has just been so good all of these games. Gets another kill. Oh my goodness, he is just out of control. And now the big line drawn down the middle lane by Enigma. MUFC want to make something big happen after that fight.
But like we saw and like you said, they just did not have the. I mean, last time they went for the mid push, they got counter pushed so damn hard. Prophet and Antimage, both better pushes than heroes like Templar Assassin. Where does the push come from, apart from a Tiny with an Ag Scepter? And he hasn't gone for that sort of that DPS build. He doesn't have anything to boost up his attack speed. We're not going to see an Assault Crest for a while, so they haven't got fast push. They're not going to be able to get a Rax here, despite that ambitiously drawn line down the mid lane. They're just going to have to back off, and I feel giving up that top Rax was a mistake. They shouldn't have gone for a trade. They weren't going to win that trade. And while if DK had defended mid, it would have been a lost fight for DK and a Rax for MUFC. But DK said, nope, we're just going to kind of push top, force you guys back. And they forced them back, and they still got a Rax and walked away. So MUFC with no pushing potential just need to keep taking big team fights and keep continuing to defend. If MUFC are to win this, it's going to have to go for a long, long time, because that's the only way they can deal with this counter push, slow and steady.
I mean, it's what happens when Anti-Mage is a Battle Fury. Prophet has so many early items. That quick level 16. He's actually been spamming his ult quite a bit. I mean, even before heroes die. Long DD at this point, it's about keeping the creep wave across the river, preventing MUFC from getting that push going. So even when MUFC win the fight, like we've been talking about, it's not enough. I mean, they have to win several fights. And like you said, this game may go for quite a while. Whoever's going to win. I mean, if it's DK, well, even for DK, they can't go high ground. It's just, we see them losing team fights well inside of their own base. You know, it's too much team fight for MUFC to handle. The Black Hole is down, so if you want to fight, probably try and bait that out. Maybe pick off the Enigma before he can use it. And DK definitely have the burst to pick him off. But if MUFC play the smart, if they stay together, especially with those core team fight heroes, and don't get picked off, then, well, it's going to be hard for DK. So here they go with the smoke. Actually, DK trying to force the issue. They're expecting the Black Hole to be down for a couple more seconds, and it is, but it's up soon. Blink on the high ground by Burning. Blink in by the Enigma. Oh, I don't know about that Blink. He gets scythed up, but he's alive for now. Actually, no, the Deafening Blast, the BKB from Burning. They get the pick off onto Tiny. He goes. TFG taking a lot of damage, but Burning is going to back off. A wise choice as the BKB has run out. They get the pick on Enigma. There's no buyback on that Enigma. They might not get Rax, but DK are going to have all three lanes deep into enemy territory by the time that Enigma respawns.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing with DK. They've got more options to actually win this game, whereas MUFC have to play into DK's hands. If MUFC push, they have to go back and defend. Even if MUFC go 5 mid and they're about to push on in, if Prophet and Antimage are pushing at their doors, they have to go back and defend. They can't win that race, even with 5 heroes. Prophet and Antimage, their damage is just getting a bit out of control. MUFC is all about their big team fight with the Black Hole, with the Darkseer ultimate. They've got, I mean, I'm going to say, they've got the better team fight, but DK have, I mean, the more versatile draft, and that is really showing here as we're going to see whether or not MUFC can deal with it. They've got the better composition for winning these fights, but DK just won't take those big team fights if they play it smart enough.
Right, how are you going to find those team fights? You're not unless DK decide they want to have one. Even if you smoke gank, you get 1 or 2 heroes. It's probably not going to be all. Bernie blinks in, vacuum back, but he has the B. Actually, the BKB was on cooldown. They could have potentially made it go, but it was about to come online. What will Templar Assassin go for next at this point? I guess that's another thing to talk about. She's already got BKB, she's got Deso. Those are sort of her core damage items. I mean, if you want to push, if you want more minus armor, Assault Cuirass is a common choice. Also, the attack speed would really help out with the Tiny. So it might be the best option in that regard, just to give you that second semi-carry a lot of extra damage, just to keep them both as hitting as hard as possible. We could maybe see something like a Butterfly or even a Daedalus could be very strong than Templar because she's already hit so hard to begin with. The crits are going to be very cost-effective if you go for them. But for the moment, I guess you have to say for buyback.
Yeah, buyback number 1, but I like the idea of going for crit. Or possibly even the mad survivability. Top lane though, Tiny gets taken out. They even use the epicenter for it, as well as the BKB on Antimage. I mean, this is DK. They know they've got the more versatile draft. If they can just use ultimates to get 1 hero and then back off and farm until those ultimates as well as the BKB is backed up on Antimage, that's an okay trade for them. Additionally, Roshan is now there. They can maybe sort of wander around, head towards that. Venomancer trying to de-ward. He's not going to manage to do so, and Venomancer going to go down, going to lose this gem. He gets caught out. Another loss for MUFC.
And that's Roshan. And Roshan will drop here. Oh, yeah. Top lane, RTK in a bit of trouble. Do they have detection, though? No detection on Templar. Support is on the way, but no detection on that support either. They could use a Black Hole just for RTK, but that would be a bit of an over-investment, I would say. And now Roshan going to be commenced here for DK. Burning, heading over. Actually blinks into the trees, gets trapped, but only delaying the inevitable. This Roshan will drop. MUFC will not respawn in time. Even if they go to stop it, Prophet starts pushing in top, or even the bottom lane, both of which are already quite far in. RTK is an invis, he will scout any rotation in. Aegis most likely onto the anti-mage here. Yep, Burning is going to pick that up. Bernie is going to pick that up. There you go, Bernie. And now 2,900 gold in the bank for him. The DK are playing their game. That's all I can really say right now.
Oh yeah. And I mean, he's got 3k gold. He can pick up the heart, maybe go for that Basher to try and deal with the Templar Assassin that we saw last time. I think the Basher is maybe going to be the route he goes. I mean, it goes through BKB as well when you upgrade it, and there's a couple BKBs on this Radiant side to deal with. So it'll help him out. Tiny, still no Aghanim Scepter, but I feel even when he gets it, he's not doing much damage in these. He's getting killed faster than he gets off a couple right clicks. He doesn't right click fast enough in a team fight to actually make use of an Aghanim Scepter. It's not like we see Complexity do, where they'll get all their farm and play the Tiny as a hard carry. This has been more about the Templar Assassin. As a result, I don't think Tiny's going to have a massive impact late game, apart from sniping a couple of those support heroes.
Yeah, the only way he's really going to contribute is if they somehow win a big fight. Then he'll help you a lot with pushing. But it's still going to be very hard to find that fight and to win it, especially with the Aegis now up on Burning, who's also got, by the way, 4,000 gold. Compared to last game, not nearly the same level of farm, but it's looking to be enough with the supporting cast. The Invoker has a ton of farm, by the way. I mean, considering the fact that his creep score is so low, he's got a Scythe of Vice, he's got a Force Staff, Phase Boots, and a Ghost Scepter, plus 1,600 gold in the bank, and a lot of it's due to the Roshan. He's been participating in a lot of kills, as well as having all those towers down. So Super's having good farm. Of course, we've talked about the Prophet. Pretty much max inventory for him. Meoner, Power Treads, BKB, Scythe of Vice, Aghanim Scepter, Mechanism. If this was a luxury card, you just got every additional optional feature if that's what his Prophet is. And looks like Bernie will be looking to push in the top lane. The Battle Fury's still up on him, and that's going to allow him to really keep the creep wave in. And just look what's happening on the map right now. Constantly all these waves deep into dire territory. And it makes it so hard for the Radiant to move out. Even if the racks were up, if the waves are here, there's just not much you can do. Yeah. I'm drawing a sort of a hemisphere on the map just to indicate how little map control they have. A Lonely Ward in a pretty horrible position. It sees something, it's better than nothing. But this is not a ward you want to have to be placing. This is a ward you place out of desperation.
MUFC, I mean, they never even push the lanes past the river, and if they do, it's because they go maybe 5 mid. They'll go 5 mid, but as a result, Prophet and AM already have the lanes at bottom and top pushing on the tier 3 towers, and then suddenly it's like, oh, we got to TP back. That 5 mid to push the lane past the river accomplished very little. They never actually get up to the tier 3 towers and potentially in a position where they can take a rack. They always just find themselves in a position where it's like, oh, now we got to go back and defend. Even if they're not losing any more racks since that top one, they're not really finding the openings they need. And I mean, where do you go? I mean, you can smoke ganks are possible options, but really they need pickoffs, and it's not going to come unless DK makes some mistakes. So this game is, I mean, it's DK's to lose, but it's going to take a long time for DK to win it. There's so many opportunities for DK to actually make those kind of mistakes, which can lose them the game if they rush it.
You know, the one thing maybe MUFC could do is, I'm not sure about a smoke gank, because if you just go for a standard smoke gank, you're probably only going to find one hero, but what they could maybe do is bait someone and smoke up behind that hero, try and get multiple heroes from DK there, and if you can draw 2 or 3 in, it probably wouldn't be more than 2, then maybe you can pull something off, but oh, blink in, they actually are going to get a great initiation here. Look at how quickly, no, Bernie blinks out, RTK will drop to that right click damage. Nick has not bought anything, but he can just about buy whatever item he wants. Do you start to think about something outrageous like a Divine Rapier at this point, godz? Is that in your playbook? There's no Aegis, there's no cheese, but perhaps it's a consideration, and I throw it out there. Nope, it's going to be... Actually, it could still be a Divine Rapier. Probably going to be a Daedalus, maybe an MKB. Bernie doesn't have a Butterfly yet, though, so MKB is not mandatory by any means. Bernie looks to be going for an Abyssal Blade. What's that solo kill potential? Also, a great way to deal with these BKBs is that Abyssal Blade and the Bash both go through it, so you could definitely stop Enigma's Black Hole, lock him down before he gets the ultimate off. They get the kills, or they get the kill in the Sand King, but again, these kills just aren't translating to anything more. It's just not enough. And even Zippo is now aggressively farming the enemy jungle on a support Crystal Maiden who was in the Suicide Lane. Look at the farm. Power Treads, Force Staff, Yule Scepter. Everybody on DK is getting a little bit of a couple of presents. It is definitely Christmas for them, and well, they go in on top, they kill off some illusions. And that's a nice pickoff, but... well, speaking of those illusions, Prophet now has a Manta style. I'm not even sure what he replaced. He replaced something, but either way, a little more push power for them. A little bit extra team fight for a team that already has so much. And, well, it looks like we're just entering that second stage of the farm war where DK continue to farm all over the map, accelerating, farming the enemy ancients, farming the enemy jungle, farming all 3 lanes, getting Roshan whenever it respawns. If they want, they can farm for 30 more minutes. I think they have just about enough to pull off a push, especially with that Aegis.
Yeah, and I mean, this split farm and this just control that Prophet Anti-Mage just being so mobile with their farming, so efficient is showing. There's a 25,000 gold lead. I mean, the game is a lot closer than that number resembles. I mean, MUFC are winning these team fights despite that. It's just coming down to they can't find an opening to actually win the game. I mean, getting kills, winning team fights doesn't actually win you games on its own. You need to find a push where you can get Raxes and then transition into getting that throne ultimately. And the MUFC haven't really come close to that. And they're going to see aggression at bottom lane. Burning is looking for something. He pops the Abyssal Blade, just backing off though as soon as Templar Assassin blinks in. So Daedalus is now up on TA. So there's your serious DPS item. TA transitioning well, but still will need to carry this game a lot harder than he is at the moment.
Yeah, it's still an 8-second BKB. Actually shocked to see that it's that high, because he's had it for like 15-20 minutes at least. Still, DK is actually grouped up, and well, they are playing in MUFC's hands if they want to do so. Blink in, BKB used immediately by Enigma. His is going to run out in just a few seconds, and now the fight going the other way. They're going to lock down lane and pick him off. He needs to buy back immediately. He doesn't have it. Oh no, without the wall, without the vacuum, that big team fight setup is not there. Plus the BKB down on the Enigma. Oh, this is so bad for MUFC. That was probably the one hero they just could not afford to lose. And now with Alacrity up on Burning, the rack's going to melt. MUFC are going to have to do something. They're now down 2 sets of racks. Over mid, it's just Tiny who can't even walk towards the heroes. Burning now rotating mid. It looks like everything is collapsing for MUFC. They fought hard. They had a... I have to give Nick a big shout out. This is the best Templar Assassin play I have seen in Dota 2. bar none. He's playing outstandingly. I mean, maybe there's someone who's had a better game, but out of the ones I've cast, I've cast 5 or 6 at this point. He is definitely the best. So consistent from game to game, but it just shows you the weakness of the hero. As great as is a ganking getting those kills, it doesn't win the game with them. Enigma just melts instantly! Oh man. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Enigma. That was Invoker, actually. Yeah, log DD, right-clicking, but they get mega creeps here. Huge crits from Nick, and the blink away from Burning. Epicenter's channeled. Oh, look at the crits! Oh, the humanity of it, but Nick is going to go down, finally, to Burning. And they're up mega creeps. 5x galore. One more blink in from Burning. Not getting the bashes. The Aegis is used. Right back in the fight. Everybody for MUFC grouped up. One last hurrah for them. They could maybe go all mid if they can get Burning. Prophet's still sitting on buyback if he needs it. No, it's on cooldown actually. He already used that. I died again. Anti-mage needs to
one
live.
crit got two heroes. It was a double kill with his crit. He came in from behind and just critted and got 2 heroes with the psionic attack. He insta-killed Prophet and CM, I think it was, and it was just insane. That was the Daedalus in action there, but it's
it's all in. It's all in. It's all in for MUFC now. Everyone grouped up going mid. I like this choice. I don't see what else they can do. They actually smoked just to get to the creep wave a bit quicker. I guess they need that creep wave. There's still a glyph up on DK, and that's actually, yeah, there is still a glyph up. So that's going to make it pretty hard. Anti-mage is up. I guess the thing is, can they really take a head-on fight right now? I mean, if you're DK, you don't have FE for the moment. 30 seconds to go on that. It seems like the TA can just out-damage the anti-mage at this point. That Abyssal Blade is really not working out too well in terms of the 1v1 battle. Wow, big combo there. Bernie uses the BKB. He finds lead again, but the black hole is there this time from Sharky, holding Bernie in place. Look at the damage and the tiny as well. MUFC may pull this one out of the hat yet. They're working on the racks. The glyph is used. Immediately Bernie buys back. MUFC forced out, but the base is under absolute siege. Even Venomancer Ward's not going to be enough alone to stop this push forever. TFG very low. Nick, they want to still fight. They want us to look for an opening. Blinking from RTK. Templar Assassin waiting in the wings. Nick, such a ninja. Will he get birdied? It looks like he will. No, another blink away. He gets super instead. But now Nick may dropping very low, and he does not have buyback if he dies. He just used it. No detection for him for the moment, but the throne exposed. Being sieged up now. Still, the kills continue to happen for Nick. Invoker finally gets the kill with those Forge Spirits. 4 dead for MUFC. Prophet TP's in. Net calls the GG. Prophet is going to finish this one off. Well, they gave DK a bit of a scare, guys, but it just wasn't quite enough in the end.
Yeah. Oh, that was a hectic finish, man. I have to say, I'm sitting here thinking, no way. They've just got mega creep. Sure, they killed all 5 heroes, but they all bought back. They can't win another fight like that, and they came damn close. MUFC put up a great fight. Going down 2-1 against DK. No shame there, and I've got to say, that was some very, very exciting and entertaining games.
You know, if Lane hadn't got picked off a couple of fights, I feel they would have won. I mean, I feel, if not won, they would have held on a lot longer. So, either way, guys, that is going to do it for MUFC versus DK. I believe we have our next match ready to go if it hasn't already started. It has been running a bit behind schedule because these games took so long. So, anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this cast. I am LD of dotacommentaries.com. Joining me was godz. This was game number 3. DK take the series 2-1. We'll be coming back very soon with Complexity versus IG, so another East versus West showdown coming your way momentarily. Stay tuned for that one, guys. You won't want to miss it. You're watching Beyond the Summits World Tour.